What is going on, guys? Anger Collections in the house for another video. All right, so I have a very interesting post here from Reddit, and I'd like to share you guys because I think this post is like really great now because a lot of people that did quit sold their collections and like just trying to come back and this Commander era, GamePieces era, all this play booster fun, and it's their what they thought, like back then. It's like, oh my god, things have changed, man. So all right, so let's read this really quick, and we'll just like go through there's like some questions here. So hey all, I've been out of MTG since 2018, and holy shit balls, things have changed, man. Oh yeah, I mean 2018, that's like, if you think about Commander 2018, like there's no Commander 2019, the dark side era. 2020, the whole COVID, all the free spells. uh yeah, Lord of the Rings, there's so much change, man. So when I took my hiatus, I had the following logic in terms of most stable long-term holds. So I got rid of quite a bit of everything not on this list. Just curious how things look now in 2024 in order of best long-term holds. So Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, the Four Horsemen, Antiquities, Arabian Nights, Legends, and the Dark. So, these pretty obvious. These are just like, the classic vintage cards. I think they're always going to be valuable and desirable because these are vintage Magic cards, man. As the game keeps getting old and old and old, these are just, the value of these will vary, but for the most part, eventually, maybe, along down the road, people will like complete sets and just trying to like complete these vintage cards. But overall, these are like vintage cards, man. And then reserve list playable. I think this one, I think it will vary between their demand, whether we're still in the Commander era or there's another format that's like Rising or new whatever WotC, introduces in this whole, environment. But overall, I think reserve list will always be like depending on their demand. And then there's old frame foils, so playable. I think these ones, it will really depend because, as the year goes by, there's going to be all, some of these will be reprinted. Yeah, we can argue that it's not the same quality, it's different look, even though they're like the same retro. The original will always be original, but as far as the value, um, unless it's like really like graded or like very mint, I think it would it will still kind of hold value, but as it gets reprinted so many times, I think the value of the original ones will kind of like go down a little bit. But for the clean copies, the graded copies, you know, graded, I'm not really, like into grading, but as far as like I said, old frame foils, the original will hold value unless it's like, the condition itself, and as the time goes by, they get reprinted so many times. So and then there's older judge player rewards, etc. Yeah, these judge foils, I don't know if they're still doing judge foils. I think they probably do, right? They probably still do judge foils. Like the older ones, the playable ones, I think, there's like the Gaia's Cradle. I think it would really depend on their condition as well, and their demand long term. Like I said, if we're talking about like, 5, 10 years ahead, we don't know, we can't predict, but as long as they're still playable, there's a format for them, and people are still like blinging them out, their decks. Yeah, they're always going to like hold value because they're, I mean, like all these guys cradle the judge one is like super expensive, right? Um, but yeah, they will still like at least hold their value because they're very unique. And then there's other reserve list unplayables, old frame foil unplayables. I mean, same exact thing, like I think these ones, it would really depend because, like I said, as uh, WotC keeps reprinting all these retro foils, making new uh, retro cards for these, the value of these, non-playable, not really important. I think down the road, maybe people will like complete sets and try and collect these, but beyond that, I don't really see like long-term hold value in these. Like I said, you know, except with the exception of the people that wants to collect these, So there's some questions here, man. Very interesting. Look at this. Where do things sit now with how aggressive WotC reprints cards, especially with old frame foils now being reprinted? Let's see. Albeit not with the same quality. So I kind of answered this question already about like with how WotC reprints cards that were like retro and has retro foil. So like I said, it would really depend on the quality of the card, and as far as like the value goes, as they get reprinted more and more and more, they will like the value will like go lower for sure. Because I mean, if it's like the same retro foil, it's definitely going to get a hit. But the original ones, especially the mint ones, I think it will hold a certain value because I mean old foils. I mean those like I don't know, especially the playable ones. I don't know, Ristic Study. All these Shooting Star OG foils. They're very very hard to find, man. Even like the played ones. So yeah, so that's that, man. All right, the second one, will non-reserve revised creep into the long-term hold category eventually? Non-reserve revised, what is it, revised cards? I don't think so. I mean, I know there's like the revised 40, but I think they will always have some value because they're like the vintage. Um, but like I said, this is like years and years ahead, man. But I mean, like I said, these vintage cards, I mean, they're always going to be vintage cars, man. So they'll always have demand, they'll always have some value. But I don't think it's going to be like, crazy amount, 10x, 20x. But yeah, it's that's that for those. And then the next one is I had a theory that pre-modern, basically Ice Age to Onslaught. I love this format would eventually hold more value, but given the current reprint approach, this is looking less likely. Thoughts? So the pre-modern, like what he mentioned, it's a format from Ice Age and Onslaught. It's right before they changed the framing. I love this format, man. I have a pre-modern deck myself. It's like the blue green madness, and there's actually certain reserve list cards that are like played in this format, and some of those have actually gained value because of it. But as far as I mean, the whole reprint approach, it would really depend on the how the format popularity. If they gain popularity, hey man, all these reserve list cards from it, all these commons and commons, they will eventually like move because I mean like right now it really all commander, all in, man. So it would really depend, but I guess it will still hold some value because these are like highly played reserve list cards. So yeah, I mean, check it out, man. Pre-modern is very very interesting format. And then the last one, am I missing any obvious good long-term holds? I guess sealed in general safe, but I haven't dabbled. Not a big fan of sealed, investing sealed product. Not saying, like there's no value to it, but it's just personal preference as far as like space and like the whole like I mean, I'm selling all these singles and sold some sealed product before, and I've experienced it. And if you have like a tons of this sealed product, like the margins, the shipping, the fees, and then like the how long you're gonna hold these sealed product, it's just not for me. I guess for some people, and but this is like for sellers. As far as for collectors, I think you can kind of see some of the old products. I wouldn't say the newer products. It really depends, but overall, it would really, if you want to collect like a certain set, a certain like block, you can like the trio of the Urza Saga or the I don't know, even the newer ones, the Kaladesh boxes, or the ones that has like lottery cards or expedition. I think long term they will have certain value to it because the fact that they have these lottery cards, and I think overall like sealed investing, it kind of just really gained popularity because of Rudy from Alpha Investment. And as long as this whole Rudy army is around, man, all these sealed investing, all of these, like people, closet, and then, if their like whole like room is filled with like sealed products, like I said, the Rudy army, man. I mean, they will always, hold value. How long? We don't know. It would really depends. But as far as like how Watsi is doing all these reprints and freaking like secret layers, all of these cards that already got reprinted like in older sets. I mean, these sealed boxes, I know he mentioned about like, yeah, us the, it doesn't matter what's the cards in the set. It's more about the, like the supply, how much supply of this Baldur's Gate or this Dominaria. I think it it will eventually get hit, like Innistrad boxes. I don't know how much are they right now, but I mean, if you think about it, you know, Liliana's there, Snapcaster's there, but the value of you know, these cards have gotten like so low. Yeah, I mean it's Innistrad boxes, the box, you know, inside cards doesn't matter, it's more about like the supply of the box. Yeah, that's totally true, but like the demand for it is probably not going to be there. So, so that's going to be it. So this is a very interesting post, man. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss any video. And with that, anger out, boys. Peace.